Hello everyone, my name is Sydney Gallus and I was born and raised in Cedar Falls, Iowa. I'm a recipient of the ELF Loan Fund this year and I'm sponsored through Chapter OV out of Cedar Falls. I came to know about this loan through my grandmother, who is a member of Chapter OV and has been for a number of years, for as long as I can remember. And my sister and I have actually both benefited from the ELF loan. My sister, when she was getting her doctorate in physical therapy from the University of Iowa, and me, myself, now, when I am getting my master's in social work at the University of Wisconsin Madison. My grandma, Beverly Gallus, has been involved with P.E.O for a number of years, like I've said, and I'm just so fortunate for this organization and for the ability for me to be able to receive this loan. This loan has a much lower interest rate than other loans that I would be able to get through other private organizations, as well as through some of the government sponsored aid. The lower interest rate allows me to have a stronger financial future after graduation. And I was able to apply for the loan with just a couple co-signers. So those were my parents, and submitting my budget for the year to ensure that I'm going to be using the loan for my education. It was a really quick and easy process to be able to apply. And it gives me such peace of mind knowing that I'm not burdening my financial future when I go out and get a job and am paying really high loans later on. With my education now, I have concentrations in both aging and health direct practice. And with these concentrations and with my master's social work degree, I hope to work in a hospital setting and be able to help patients and their families with care navigation upon discharge from the hospital. There are so many different issues with billing and Medicare coverage and different service options. And so I hope to be able to use my knowledge of these systems to be able to facilitate a safe and easy discharge and help these families know that their loved ones will be taken care of when they leave the hospital and have their needs met so that we can keep them out of the hospital. I'm very passionate about helping people and navigate these difficult medical systems because it can be a lot for a family, especially receiving diagnoses or only having a couple days to navigate these systems. It's really helpful to families to know that they have these supports and people who are able to help them navigate these systems. So again, thank you so much to P.E.O and the ELF Loan Fund for helping me finance my master's education and setting me up for a very strong future in social work. Thank you.
Good day to all P.E.O chapters. My name is Annie Banda. I come from Malawi, one of the countries in Southern Africa bordering Tanzania, Mozambique, and Zambia. I am a proud recipient of the International Peace Scholarship grants from the P.E.O of 2020. I would love to extend my appreciation for this special gift that you have given to not only me but to even other women from diverse countries that you have never even met before. I am honored to represent these women in the 2021 annual conference. To give a brief history of myself, I am a mother of two children, a boy and a girl. They have recently graduated from the University of Malawi. My son passed with a distinction in electronics and computer engineering, and my daughter came out with a credit in economics. You can see I am indeed a proud mother. I have worked with the bank for 17 years. 16 years I was with Standard Bank, Malawi, and the last year I worked with NBS Bank, where I had a team of 42 members. I inspired this team. I inspired them to start so that they can attain higher positions in their careers. I inspired youngsters. I inspired my peers. I inspired the people I worked with, and I walked the talk. I applied for a master's in the US, which I sent in 2020, and now I am also walking the talk. I'm pursuing a PhD in human development and family studies at Iowa State University. Throughout my career, I was a go getter, and the bank actually recognized me in so many areas. And everybody knew my name when I was there. How did I actually know about the PEO now? During my study were in 2020 from 2018, I actually came through stressful experiences, especially in terms of finance relating to accommodation. That being the case, a very good family that have been friends with my sister opened the doors and let me in their family where I lived with them. As I lived with them, they saw the financial need that I had, and they're the ones that told me about the existence of the PEO. That's how I got this grant. I cherish that family to date, and I cherish the PEO for everything that you have done. How has this grant actually benefited me? This grant has gone further. It's not only me that has benefited, but even my country is a beneficiary, because in my country we have very few PhD holders. So attending this PhD will actually add a resource in my country to actually teach uh, at the University of Malawi. It has actually, the grant has actually made it possible for me to have that encouragement to pursue this PhD, because I was assessing the period that I had gone through with the stress. I said, let me just go back home. But with the beautiful gift you gave me, I am now pursuing this PhD with easy. I can now pay the rentals, I can pay my bills with easy. Thank you very much. What are my career aspirations when I get the PhD? My career aspirations are to teach at the University of Malawi, especially the courses that are related in human development and family studies. I also look forward to establishing a non-governmental organization that will look at the welfare of vulnerable women that are exposed to intimate partner violence. For your own information, intimate partner violence is not a respecter of the statuses of women. No, no, no. You can be highly educated, rich, white, woman of color. You can come under the exposure of intimate partner violence. So, those are some of the reasons why I really want to establish this NGO, so that I can, one of the things, I can set up a shelter when they come through such experiences. Women can temporarily come and stay at the shelter, because when they still live under their spouses, when the tempers they are high, they come under through many issues, like they can be disfigured, they can be beaten up, and even some of them they lose their lives. So that's why I am looking forward to actually setting up this NGO and also be able to counsel them on the experiences they are coming through, because I have also come through the same experiences, and people tend to listen to people that have come or have experienced um, the same experiences. And I have done that already, whereby I've talked to people, I've talked to families that were on the verge of breaking and they've mended up. So that's what I'm going to do. Thank you very much, all. God bless you.
Hi, my name's April White. I received a PCE grant in 2019. I wanted to thank the members of Chapter KI in Dubuque for sponsoring me and thank the P.E.O Sisterhood for supporting me as I pursue my educational goals. I received the grant back in 2019, so odds are I was just starting school at NICC, and I probably used the grant on a new computer or school supplies for the school year, maybe even books. Can't recall what I did yesterday, so I'm sure I used it for school, especially computer at that time. Also, my history is I come from a long line of drug and alcohol addiction. We have a generational curse that's been going through our family for many, many years. I left the abuse and the drug and alcohol abuse back in 2015, and I've been pushing forward ever since. I've been clean since 2015, started NICC 2018, and finally got my GED, and I graduated NICC just recently. I'll be walking on May 14th for my final graduation at NICC. I am currently an honor student, and at Loras, it appears that didn't change much, and my grades are looking excellent this year. I earned a scholarship from Phi Theta Kappa to pay my future path for education, and my future plans are to become a victim advocate and one day open up a ranch for people trying to escape the same things I escaped, the abuse and the drugs, and to help them to improve their lives like I did and to transform their lives like I did, to let them know that there's other ways out. Along with that, I am also busy this summer with working on my campaigning to run for mayor here in Dubuque. I will be on the ballot in November. So there's a lot of interesting adventures ahead of me, and I wanted to thank you once again for all the help that you guys done for me. All grants, all scholarships helped me so much, and it's probably the only way I got education is through all the grants and scholarships. So I wanted to thank you once again for your time and for the grant. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kari Jurgenson, and I'm a P.E.O Scholar Award recipient. I've always had a passion for education and learning. When I was a young girl, I loved going to school. I loved learning new things and trying new challenging problems. My favorite subject in school is math, and it still is. So I knew early on that I wanted to be a math teacher. So I pursued a degree in math education from Concordia College in my hometown of Moorhead, Minnesota. And then I immediately pursued a master's degree in education from the University of Missouri. Upon completing my education, I started teaching middle school and high school math. So I taught sixth grade and seventh grade math all the way up to Algebra 2 and AP Statistics to juniors and seniors. So it was quite the variety of different math classes, but it kept me on my toes, and I just loved teaching and working with my students. Something that I learned while I was teaching was I also had an interest in working with current teachers and people that want to become teachers and teaching them the best ways to teach mathematics to their own students. So I decided to pursue doctoral studies in mathematics education at Iowa State University. And it was in my time at Iowa State that I learned about P.E.O. I had a friend and a colleague at Iowa State who was part of a local P.E.O chapter. And she told me about the organization and its mission in supporting women and pursuing their education further. And it just sounded like such a wonderful organization. So as I completed my studies and progressed further in my program and began planning my dissertation research, I realized I would need some financial support in order to make the dissertation research project possible and make it the best possible project it could be. So I remembered about the P.E.O. Scholar Award and began looking into that application process. I reached out to my local P.E.O. chapter NK, and worked with them on the application process. And Janet and Ellen in chapter NK were amazing in that. Once I received the P.E.O. Scholar Award, they invited me to several of their meetings and their social gatherings and their Christmas party. And they told me about an annual fundraiser that they have doing a garage sale to raise money for P.E.O. So I donated several items to that garage sale as well. So the women in chapter NK were amazing. And it was so nice to have their support and know that they were in my corner as I was completing my doctoral studies. The P.E.O. Scholar Award truly made my dissertation research possible. So my research project involved recruiting several fifth grade teachers to teach a STEM unit to their students. So the STEM unit involved science and technology and engineering and math, pulling all of that together in one unit of study. And the kids in this process participated in science experiments and lots of real world hands-on activities and virtual lessons. And then at the end of the month-long unit, they worked with a small group of students to complete an overarching engineering challenge where they pulled together all of the things that they had learned throughout the unit. And so the P.E.O. Scholar Award helped me recruit teachers and compensate them for their participation in the research project. It also allowed me to buy all the supplies that was necessary for the teachers and students to engage in the unit. And I was able to provide them with ready-made kits with all the supplies that they would possibly need. And it also allowed me to purchase the technology that I would need to conduct the research I did in their classroom with videos and interviews and things like that. And then lastly, I spent some of the P.E.O. Scholar Award on transcription services, which helped make the research process a little more efficient and allowed me to spend more time writing the dissertation and spending more time on other aspects of my education as well. So it truly, truly made this work possible. I plan to continue in this line of research by working with teachers in their classroom and their students and providing opportunities for them to engage in mathematics and STEM education in a really engaging, rich way that follows the best practices, and finding opportunities to work with teachers and teach them the best ways to teach math to their own students. So potential opportunities that would be available for this line of work would be in a role as a faculty member at a university, or working with the State Department of Education, or as an educational specialist in mathematics. So the P.E.O. Scholar Award, I am so grateful for receiving, and I'm so thankful that P.E.O. offers this type of award and funding for women to further their education. Not only has it helped my doctoral educational pursuit, but it has also helped the students that I worked with in their education, providing them with these opportunities to engage in rich mathematical activities and STEM opportunities. So thank you, P.E.O., and especially to Chapter NK for making this possible. I appreciate the work that P.E.O. does so much. So thank you again for the P.E.O. Scholar Award.
Hello, my name is Rebecca too, previously Rebecca Hostis. I just got married, and I am just going to talk a little bit about the STAR Scholarship and how it's helped me in my educational journey and just all about that. So I go to Iowa State University. I am just about to graduate in May and with a degree in elementary education with endorsements in mathematics, reading, and English Second Language, otherwise known as ESL. So I actually went into Iowa State as a dietitian, as a dietetics major, and decided that was not for me. The science and just like the collaboration was just not there, and I just didn't find my passion there. So I decided to try out elementary ed. My parents were both teachers, and that is where I ended up in my educational journey. So how I got to Iowa State, I actually received the STAR Scholarship in spring of 2017, And the chapter that sponsored me was the IE chapter in Des Moines, which is about 45 minutes away from Iowa State. And it really helped me propel me into exploring my interests. Like I said, being able to realize that my passion was not in dietetics and my passion was actually in becoming a teacher was huge for me. And that scholarship really helped me explore that passion. In college, I was part of a lot of different clubs and organizations. I was a peer mentor for the education department, so I helped incoming transfer students from different schools into the education department, and I also helped students who had transferred their majors into LED. So I was a peer mentor. I mentored them through the ongoing process of becoming a teacher and getting familiar with the department. I was also a vice president, or not vice president. I was also on the Love Your Melon crew for Iowa State, and I was the volunteer coordinator. And I was also head of figuring out different activities that we would do. Right now, I am in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I am just finishing up my student teaching. I am in a 6 through 8 ESL classroom where I just teach students English and help them with their pronunciation and really support them in their academic studies. I just got done with a student teaching placement in Phoenix, Arizona, where I lived with my friend, and I was in a first grade classroom. So my future career goals are definitely to be a first grade or second grade, a younger grade teacher. And then I also my husband is in the Army, and so we are moving to Raleigh, North Carolina. We are stationed in Fort Bragg. We will be stationed in Fort Bragg, and my goal is to have a career alongside him as well, and just fulfill my passion in teaching younger students. I really love the littles, and I'm excited to get a job soon and start my career path. So I really would like to thank P.E.O. for all of their help in setting me up for success and establishing that support system, that financial support system as I was going from high school to college and making that transition. So I really appreciate it, and feel free to contact me with any questions. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Maya Struhar. I'm from Creston, Iowa, and I'm a senior at Cottey College, majoring in organizational leadership and minoring in dance and theater. Almost 5 years ago, I was a senior in high school, carefully deciding where I wanted to attend college. I was considering multiple colleges and universities across the country, and in fall of my senior year, I had several campus visits scheduled. First on my schedule was Cottey College. Let me back it up a little bit. When I was a junior in high school, a P.E.O. approached my mom and told her that I should consider Cottey. Now, at the time, I was 16 years old and had little to no interest in attending a small, all-women's college in a small town in southern Missouri. But all of those negative feelings completely melted away when I first stepped on campus in October of my senior year. The air was electric, and I fell in love. I had a kind and intelligent Golden Key who answered my thousands of questions during my campus tour, and I really discovered how much I could truly benefit from small class sizes and one-on-one instruction with my professors. At the conclusion of that weekend, I decided to cancel all the rest of my other college visits. I knew, right then and there, that Cottey was where I was meant to be. My favorite part about Cottey are all of the lessons that I have learned outside the classroom. I've learned great lessons inside the classroom too. My professors are fantastic, but I've done so much learning about myself and life outside the classroom, and that's what I really love. I'm going to start with leadership. Here at Cottey, I am involved in a lot. I'm a member of the dance company, I'm involved in theater productions, and I'm a senator at large for Student Government Association. I'm also a resident assistant in Reeves Hall. I'm also in honor societies like Golden Key, Delta Psi Omega, Phi Theta Kappa, and Sigma Kappa Delta. These organizations have offered me so many leadership opportunities because I've been on the executive board of nearly all of them. Now, at other colleges and universities nationwide, women make up only 1/3 of organization executive boards. But at Cottey, it's 100%. Here at Cottey, I've been offered leadership positions that I never would have dreamed of at other institutions, and because I've been able to attain them, I'm a better leader and a better woman. Another lesson that can't be learned in a lecture is the importance of friendship. Now, I remember when I was in high school and I told a woman that I was close to that I was considering going to Cottey, she kind of laughed and said, "How are you expecting to find a husband there?" At the time, I didn't really know how to respond. When I came to Cottey my freshman year, I told my roommate about this, and she looked at me and said, "College shouldn't be about finding your husband. It should be about finding your bridesmaids." And that is exactly what I have found here at Cottey. I've found my sisters for life, my very best friends, and yes, someday, my bridesmaids. Another lesson that practically everyone has learned in this past year is perseverance. We have had so many questionable things happen in the past year, but we of Cottey have not stopped learning. We took classes online, we took classes online and in person simultaneously, but we have really persevered and taken a ton of sacrifices to make sure that our education continues to come first. And I'm so proud of what we've done at Cottey to make sure that we can continue learning. My post-graduation plans, I am so excited about. I will be graduating with my Bachelor's of Arts degree from Cottey in just a few, well, it will have already happened by the time that you're watching this, but in just a few days on May 16th of 2021. This fall, I will move to New Orleans, Louisiana, and I intend to pursue my Master of Urban and Regional Planning degree with a specialization in environmental and hazard mitigation planning from the University of New Orleans. I'm so excited for what the future has, and I know that my future is bright because Cottey has well prepared me. Thank you to all of the P.E.Os who have been a part of my Cottey experience. It has definitely not been taken for granted. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Keith Johnson, and I am the recipient of the Iowa P.E.O Project Fund Grant, which was sponsored by Chapter HL Dubuque. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you to the P.E.O Project Fund community and to everybody who contributed to me being able to receive this grant. Just last week, I had a car payment that was close to $700 that I would not have been able to cover if not for this grant. So again, thank you to everybody who helped me be able to receive a grant like this. Is awesome. It's amazing. So thank you. With that being said, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background as to how I grew up and some things like that, just to give you a bit of a perspective as to where I was versus how I am now. So growing up, I grew up in a single parent home with my mom and my 4 sisters. I am the middle child, so I have 2 sisters older than me, 2 sisters younger than me. So it was a bit of a rough childhood, to say the least. We never had money, so we would struggle to figure out things like what we were gonna eat sometimes and how we were gonna get to school and things like that. Fast forward to about 2nd grade, I had a lot of behavioral issues, so I was assigned a mentor, and my mentor's name is Otto Kruger, and he has played a huge part in developing me as a person. He was able to show me things that I don't think any other person could show me. He was able to develop me as a human, as well as a scholar and an athlete. So for that, I thank him. But he's a very big part of where I am today, and my maturity level and things like that. He's definitely been there and helped me with a lot. So me now, present day, I am a junior at Clark University. I am a biology and mathematics major, as well as a men's basketball player on the Clark basketball team. So, with all that being said, a lot of time commitments. I also live with my grandma. My freshman year, I lived on campus, just because as a freshman, it's required basically that you have to live on campus for your first year just to get that full experience. But midway through my freshman year, my grandma was unfortunately diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. So I made the conclusion within myself that I was going to finish my freshman year out at Clark, and then I would come live with my grandma just to help her, with a couple things. Some of the things that I help her with on a daily basis are, being able to, take showers, get dressed in the morning, make sure she's eating 3 times a day, and taking all her medications at the right time throughout the day. So with all those things being said, I have a very busy schedule. I definitely have to manage my time very well in order to, keep everything organized, and make sure that I have time for myself just to kind of unwind and relax a little bit. But yeah, so the end goal for Clark University, I want to graduate there and hopefully go off to med school and become a pediatrician after that. I've always loved watching children grow. Even when I was in high school, I was participating in I was employed by a place called the Dream Center, and it's basically like a big brother, big sister mentoring program, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. The kids are great. It's awesome to see how their character develops and how they grow as humans. So with all that being said, I would like to thank everybody again that was involved. Thank you, Sue Haddle. Again, you've been amazing. Everybody who has given me this opportunity, made it possible for me to receive something as amazing as this. Thank you. And the last thing that I would like to end with is one of my favorite quotes. It's by a artist named Tupac Shakur. You probably heard of it, and it goes like this: "You wouldn't ask the rose that grew from the concrete why it had damaged petals. On the contrary, we would celebrate its tenacity. We would all love its will to reach the sun. Well, we are the roses. This is the concrete. And these are my damaged petals. So next time, don't ask me why. Ask me how." Thank you.